Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Shonen and Chill, hosted by Zenrotto and Oceaniz.
Hello, everyone.
And we're back with what is this the third week or the fourth week of no Jujutsu Kaisen? Time is blending together for me now.
It's been a hot minute, yeah.
I
Like,
can't even I can't put together the amount of time that it's been anymore. My brain has stopped processing it. But the first week of
yeah,
August, Jujutsu Kaisen is coming back. There's light at the end of the tunnel.
yeah. Which also that means next issue it's coming back because there's a break next week
Yep,
of the
yep,
entire magazine.
yep.
So
So
rejoice! This is the last week without Jujutsu
the
Kaisen,
last week of this show without Jujutsu Kaisen.
and then we just quit next time. But it's like real manga is back. Our job is done.
we've we've held over the people until real manga could come back. We've done our duty.
Yeah, but no, we don't have any plans of quitting next time at least. Uh,
That was ominous.
well, you never know how life happens. I don't think about quitting. Do you think about quitting?
I do not.
Good. Well, in that case,
Just
the
worded it like a threat. We don't have any plans of quitting at the moment.
it's like, yeah, I mean, if my hero stays out of your top three for much longer, man, it's not looking peachy. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, you're really opening the worm can right away, aren't you? All right, so
I
I guess we should jump into those. Let's do top threes.
okay. When we do top threes for like our episodes, are we allowed to include the non-weekly chapters?
Yes, you can include anything that we're talking about.
Okay, number three, Choujin X. Number two, Look Back. Number one, My Hero Academia.
Okay, okay, I like that. Number three for me was probably Dr. Stone.
Oh.
I'm really iffy on my number three because there's a lot of ones that I was like, this shit fucking pretty good. But I
Hmm.
think it's Dr. Stone. My number two is Look Back, and my number one is My Hero Academia.
Oh, let's go. The show continues another week.
I wanted to keep the reveal that I liked it until later so I could start the portion by shitting on it first.
Uh-huh.
But hopefully the people that skip right to the My Hero part will still fall for that shtick when I do it because I'm still doing it. So
Okay, so let me run through your plan real quick. We have the show where we notoriously get clipped out of context. And so your plan is to say something inflammatory out of context, only to then fix it in something that will definitely not be clipped. Is that
correct.
about right?
Correct.
I see. Proceed.
Okay. So I believe since both Choujin and Look Back ended up on the top threes list, that would make the first chapter of the week Candy Flurry that we talk about.
All right. Cool. Like it was actually pretty funny this week around.
I thought the gag this week was really funny of the guy
Uh-huh.
just like being nice to him while trying to threaten him and getting mad at his
Mhm.
classmates for not being nicer to him.
Yeah.
I also like the gag from the lead where she's like, everyone's just going to talk about the fact that I used the lollipop stick again. And then it still had a
Yeah.
cool moment at the end. I still think Glasses Girl is cool, no pun intended, with the ice cream.
Hmm.
And I like that where it look she was getting the shit kicked out of her last week, and then this last panel, just look at the body language of the dude that she's fighting. He's like slumped down and his shoulders are down.
Wait, let me peep that real quick.
Yeah, go
If
to
my
the
shit
last
loads.
page and look at the one guy. He looks like he's so depressed.
No, yeah.
He's like
Oh.
slumped a little bit, looking at all of her fucking ice cream.
He's like, oh, that was my favorite lawn.
I thought
But
it
yeah,
was
it's
a
cool.
really good chapter this week.
Yeah, it was cool. Like I like this villain. He seems kind of fun.
The
Like,
gummies guy.
yeah, like he's trying so hard to be evil, but at the same time he's so sincere as a person that he cannot help but kind of reverse engineer it. Like even at the end where he's like, I'm gonna pummel you until you confess. At that point, I don't really believe it anymore.
Yeah, one of my favorite ones is before it starts getting overly comical, where he's like threatening him, and the guy's like, he stops for a minute and he just looks over at them. He's like, So why don't you all eat lunch together? Like before it gets over the top, like he just has to know why they don't eat lunch with him.
Yeah, I'm rereading it.
Yeah,
It's so
because
good.
it's like not over the top or anything. It's just a genuine question.
Yeah. It reminds me a bit of Mashle's humor, actually, in that sense. Sort of deadpan, like, wait a minute, why aren't you better friends? Like, what's the matter, boys? Yeah, it's cool. And yeah, you mentioned something last week about how you're worried that um, we are speeding towards the end or like the big confrontation. Do you still feel like that?
After this week, not so much. It seems like he kind of did a bit of a fake out with the ice girl getting blasted because now it looks like she's in complete control and doesn't care at all about what's
Hmm.
going on. I was a little worried that we were already powering her out almost, or not out, but like, uh-oh, these new bad guys are even tougher than she is, and 2 weeks ago we already made her like the impossibly high bar for our main character to meet and stuff. So I really thought we were like barreling toward a power scaling increase, but it looks like we've kind of reversed course on that a little bit. She definitely is giving some Queen of the Castle airs again,
Hmm.
so I'm feeling pretty good about that. Also, this chapter was as far as like the conflict goes was pretty tame. There wasn't a whole lot of it going on in here, so I'm feeling a little
Hmm.
safer, a little bit more confident.
Hmm.
We're really approaching that spooky territory though. We just hit 13, so like the next 7 chapters, I'm sweating.
Yeah, yeah, we're like in that, what is it, like volume 3, volume 4 kind of deal where most series just get that sweet, sweet axe. So yeah, we'll have to see. But
Yeah,
so
it's
far, I
got
think
like
this.
15 more chapters before I can feel safe and comfy again.
So what do we give it this week? I think I'm gonna give it eat lunch with me out of 10.
I'm gonna give it the stick is part of the lollipop out of 10.
Bet. What's next, Magic Man?
Let's see what is next is I gotta pull my list up. I wasn't prepared, everybody. I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared. Uh, Witch Watch.
Witch Watch. I am digging this.
Me too. It's so good. All of a sudden, as soon as it got plot, all of a sudden it's just incredible.
Yeah, like I feel like we spent so much time saying how, oh, this setting is so cool. I wish there was an actual like plot direction. And I thought maybe we were just exaggerating and had like wishful thinking and all that. But no, like the moment you inject actual lore and plot into this, it's so cool. Like with the enchanter recruiting druggies, like super fun. And also
It,
like just the fight between the Tengu guy and Wolf. Like very short, but the little thing where he suddenly hides under the Harry Potter cloak. He's like, for 7 seconds, I'm totally invisible. Like, yeah, you go.
yeah, you
It's
go,
just
Tengu
fun
guy. You
stuff.
got your shit kicked in, but you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, the
It's
art this
just,
chapter really good.
yeah, that final double spread with Moy,
Punching through the
so
wall.
good.
Mm-hmm. Also, the
Yeah.
panel of the Tengu boy when he's doing his shout, real
Hmm.
good.
Yeah, yeah, just in general. Um, a very strong chapter. And it's weird how quick this turnaround happened, right? Like this whole plot line has only been a thing for the last like 2 chapters.
I think it was
And it's
literally
kind of
this one and like the one before it, unless you count the tease that it was coming, where you see the warlock right at the end. I think that was 2 chapters ago.
yeah, right, right. Like immediately it has kind of transformed the series in a weird way. Like you just have so much more tension now. Like it's actually going somewhere. I'm actually looking forward to a fight in Witch Watch.
Right?
Like
I know.
what?
Like I really want to see Moy fight Wolf now. I want like a full chapter of them just throwing hands.
Just no text boxes, only double spreads of them just punching the fuck out of each other.
I need that in my life. And then the last page is just the cat girl, and then I'm set.
The cat girl just periodically comes by, meows, and goes away.
Mm-hmm. That's all I need. And that's the
That's
perfect chapter of Witch Watch for me.
immediate 10 out of 10 rawness and swag.
Absolutely. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm really interested to see where this goes. I hope this isn't just like a one-off like mini plot line. Because I feel like once they hit Wolf, they're probably gonna find the Enchanter relatively quickly. And I don't know, after that I could almost see it going back to the slice of life part, which I was fine with, but now that we've tasted the forbidden fruit that is Battle Shonen, I don't know if I can go back then.
Yeah, you can't give me a double spread of Moy punching through the wall and then saying, "Where is he?" and then expect me to go back to like, I can't go to the bathroom at school because I get nervous. Like
Hmm.
I can't have another chapter where the teacher talks about what manga she likes anymore, man. That route is gone now. You've opened Pandora's box with this.
Exactly. So what do we give Witch Watch then?
Ronis and Swag out of 10.
Oh, the elusive
The
Ronus and
elusive
Swag out
Ronis and Swag.
of, Swag out of 10 rears its head for the first time for Witch Watch. All right. What's next?
All right, next is Mashle. Speaking of Ronis and Swag.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like, how did Mashle introduce like a generic bad guy trope of like, oh, I take your powers and they're stronger with me and I will become immortal and make it actually super fucking cool by just having Mash react to it? Where
Yeah,
it's just
having
like,
Mash express
dang it.
concern. Yeah.
Yeah. But always in the like goofy,
Uh-huh.
dumb boy Mash face.
Yeah, with the
I'm
little
gonna
tiny claw hands.
I'm going to beat magic with my muscles, and it's just him drawn like a cartoon character. It's so good.
I love
But yeah,
how
like,
quick the art like shifts in this because you've got the little dumb boy and like the giant spread of like spacing, ripping apart space, and then like dumb boy Mash. He's like, oh man. And then two panels later, it's this awesome shot of Mash going to kick him, and it's like super detailed. It looks great. It would give me whiplash, I think, if it was any other series.
yeah, like it's interesting how like effortlessly it weaves between those two styles, and I think part of that is ingrained in how like how early on this was set up, right? Because even if you go back to chapter one, you can see that kind of a play where you had really elaborate art next to some really goofy faces. So it's cool to see that. What are we, 50 chapters in? It still flows really well, and it hasn't gotten like tedious or anything.
Yeah, it really has it. One of my biggest worries reading Mashle week to week was the shtick is gonna wear thin on me at some point. It hasn't yet, but
Mm-hmm.
I know, and you know what? It still hasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
maybe it's just that they always it's not really done in a unique way every week. It's always kind of consistent, but like it's never not funny.
Yeah.
Even when this
Like
villain is giving like this big speech and Wahlberg's like, no, he has the right to decide the course of his life, and then Mash is just like, yep, I do. Yes, I agree.
yeah. I would honestly say the only time I found Mashal unfunny was that baby chapter, like
Yes.
a couple of weeks
And
ago.
again, that was a Golden Week chapter. I'm willing to forgive it. But
Yeah,
that
true.
was I don't know if it was because it wasn't using the usual comedy style of the series. It was like trying to go for an actual like gag full on chapter, but
Hmm.
it was not funny. The baby thing was just not there.
Yeah, exactly. But and pretty much ever since then, we've been back to like the usual menu, right? Like I can't think of any other chapters where I've really just where the comedy really just missed on me.
Mm-mm, me either. Also, the monster design on that Cyclops thing where they're fighting with like a million heads, cool as hell.
Hmm. Yeah, it's interesting because when he was leaving, I thought, okay, so this is the end of the arc, and we're gonna see like I don't know, like a classic training arc, them getting ready for the next confrontation, and then he just drops that Cyclops on them, like, oh, what the hell? But yeah, it looks super. Also, it's huge. Like holy
Yes.
shit, I hadn't really parsed how big it is,
Yeah, that
and
thing
it's
is
still
dwarfing the
forming.
stadium.
Yeah, and it's still forming. You can like see like the slime making it.
Yeah, like for its legs and stuff. Yeah.
Martial art is so good, man.
It is. It's like crazy good.
I should start collecting it once the paper shortage ends.
It's a paper shortage?
Yeah. Did you know? Because there's a manga shortage right now of English language manga.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I actually read a couple of articles about that last week because there was like a big, not scoop, but like a big reportage on it. And basically, a lot of circumstances have come together to create this problem where English manga is not being printed enough and fast enough, which has to do A with the book industry and the print industry in general declining over the last decade, in turn decreasing the number of printing presses that also print certain types of niche media, including comics and manga. And then that industry being faced with an upsurge of both interest in books and interest in manga that happened during the pandemic when supply is really limited and things are not working at their usual speed anyway. So like right now, I think one of the press speakers of Wiz said that until like late 2021, early 2022, it's gonna be real hard to guarantee supply of English language manga.
Huh. Did not know
Yeah.
that. That's pretty wild.
Hey, I've been waiting for my Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 0 and Volume 7 for as long as I've been moved out. So, you know.
Damn, I guess I'm lucky then because I have all the English volumes of Jujutsu Kaisen right now.
Yeah, you must have copped them like right at the start because I think it really started getting bad like in February. February, March-ish. That's when all the stars aligned in the worst way.
Yeah, and I've been making sure to grab the releases since then, as quick as I could.
Yeah, well, I think Jujutsu Kaisen I think they mentioned specifically Jujutsu Kaisen and Chainsaw Man were really hard to find. Because obviously the printing problem affects all of them, but the ones that are really high in demand obviously get grabbed much sooner
Right.
and
Yeah, I haven't
therefore
even looked
have
for Chainsaw Man, but when I got Jujutsu Kaisen, I got them all, and then like the next day they were all sold out on the exact place that I
yeah.
got them from.
Yeah, because I've been trying to find like Chainsaw Man in English past volume 3, and no chance. They're always sold out. Zero volume 0 of Jujutsu Kaisen, no chance. Um, My Hero, I've had luck finding it. Uh, don't know what that says about it, but you know, that's not here nor there. Peak fiction going off the shelves. Um, but yeah, this was actually about
That's getting
Mashle.
clipped for sure.
Oh, that's getting clipped very quickly. Hi, Toyni, I love you. Um, so yeah, what do we give Mashal?
Uh, Rawness and swag.
The elusive
The
Honest and Swag twice in a
twice in one
row.
chapter or one episode.
We're just gonna have to keep calling it the elusive one to mask the fact that it is just our go-to
It is our
rating.
default rating for anything.
If it's not Honest and Swag, we're not reading it anyway. So you know.
That's a fair point.
What's next?
Next up is the elusive samurai.
Oh, actually, super cool.
Yeah, it
Super
was really
cool.
cool. I've the way this series has transformed in my eyes since it got good is nuts. I'm all about it now.
Mhm.
That
Yeah,
that
like,
page of the Buddha drawing with like the demon mouth around it. Ugh, it's
mhm.
so good. The eyes all over the demon and everything. God almighty.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. And just in general, the notion of how this main villain has been established is actually really cool. That Takauji has a brother that is his exact opposite, but they get along really well. That's so cool. Like, so far, maybe it's because so far Takauji has very much just been, ha, I am charismatic and also really evil. Um, but to see him have like this actually kind of wholesome relationship with his brother, even though they're both antagonists, kind of makes them feel really like a really cool villain faction in a way. Like I can't wait to see our guys clash with them, which apparently is happening in like 18 months timeline wise, which is also kind of crazy.
Yeah, awfully quick. I don't know
Yeah.
how long they're gonna. I mean, I guess 18 months could be however long you want it to be, right? Because it's
Yeah.
just manga timing doesn't mean anything, but still. I also really like the portion where the priest guy is talking to him and it keeps flashing to like the modern world.
Hmm.
And then he's like, "Yeah, this is like the last time that spirits and like fanciful powers will will matter in the world, because this is where the world is going, and as humans get stronger, spirits get weaker. So enjoy it and like make the most of it because it's something that's not going to be around forever. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, and also like the thought that divine powers and rational thought are not really opposites as much as they are just, pendulums, right? That as human understanding of the world grows, there is no need anymore for divine powers and they naturally dwindle. I thought that was a very interesting idea. That the chapter just kind of drops in and then, goes back to, haha, isn't the priest a weird pervert, apparently?
Yeah, I don't really understand why it had to end on a gag like that.
Although
Be-
I will say, the revelation that his light comes out of his neck is one of the funniest things the series has
that,
pulled so
yeah,
far.
is probably the funniest thing about him this like up to this point, because he's always got the light behind him. It just
Yeah.
shines out of his neck and blinds him.
Oh, yeah. I read that and I like actually in real life chuckled, which doesn't happen when you're reading something.
Uh, I just feel like this chapter could have ended one page earlier. Not that
Yeah,
like the
basically.
last gag is that bad or anything, but it's just like, why is this here? This was such a cool
Yeah.
moment, and then you had to punctuate it with like, this guy sure is weird.
Mhm.
And I get really like this gag is one of the biggest ones where I was like, he is so desperate for this guy to be Koro Sensei so badly.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
150% a Koro Sensei gag.
Yeah, exactly. Although we seem to be moving away from them a little bit. Like there was this one in this chapter and the last one, but I feel like he's turning the priest into a more fleshed out character that hopefully can move away from the Koro Sensei vibes because it's just not happening.
It's no,
Like,
it's not working. It's what chapter is
yeah,
this? 20, 25. It's not working.
yeah.
If it hasn't worked 25 chapters in, it's never going to happen. Just let it go.
Hey man, there are way worse series that keep trying past 25 chapters.
Yeah, it's true.
And
I just have high hopes, especially for this guy, to not sit here and dwell on it, trying so hard to make another mimetic character out of this dude. It's not worth it.
yeah.
You've got such a strong foundation otherwise. Just go with it.
Well, then again, we also don't really know how the Japanese side is responding to this because they might think he's hilarious.
Oh, that's true. I guess I didn't think about that. I mean, Roboco makes money.
Oh God, we're gonna incur the wrath of people again.
Yeah.
All, all five people who enjoy Roboco every week.
Hey, those
Uh,
people are dedicated.
hey, I respect it.
All
But
right.
yeah,
So what are you giving the Elusive Samurai this week?
I am giving it Villain Brothers are cool out of 10.
Okay. Okay. That's a good one. Villain brothers are cool. All right. That would put our next chapter at Undead Unluck.
Which was pretty good.
It was good. I liked Fuko's little plan. It was
Hmm.
awesome. I like watching her do stuff. I also
Yeah.
like how the how Clothy pointed out like I'm used to these kind of plans from Andy because he literally can't die. But like you're learning
Mhm.
how to do this stuff from him, which might not be the best idea because you can.
Yeah, yeah. I really liked how like her love for him came into play in a kind of cheesy way, but I was totally into it.
Yeah, it was super cheesy but like cute. Where
Yeah.
like and it gave us that little cute reveal too of like Rip is also has someone he deeply loves, so it doesn't work on him either. And I was like,
Hmm.
oh. And he's not even looking at her when she's saying that. And I was like, that's cute. This is cute.
Yeah. Although I will say, when she revealed that her power was unchaste,
Yeah.
I was ready to turn that page and to find some absolute horror.
Yeah, with a series like this one in particular, as soon as I
Yeah.
saw the power reveal, I was like, uh-oh.
Oh
Do I turn the
no.
page or do I close it here? Do I
We're
close it
so
here and then just on
traumatized.
the show we're just like, I don't know why it got canceled. We're never talking about it again. That was the last chapter.
We just don't mention it, and
Just
people hound us in the comments like, "Why do you not talk about Undead Unluck anymore?" Like, Undead, what
what
now?
is
What are you
that? I've
talking
never heard of that
about?
series. Is that like some sort of you can't get it on the app or something? Like
Yeah.
Ayakishi Triangle or whatever? It's just
It's just not here.
it's just a
But
blank
yeah,
square where it is every week on our apps.
every week, like the time that we would spend talking about Undead Unluck, we just go dead silent for like 5 minutes. We just go then. Now we talk about Undead Unluck. Anyway, on to My Hero Academia.
We just put in the sound effect from SpongeBob where he curses. It's just the dolphin. It's
Just
just a
continuous
solid
dolphin
five.
noises.
It's just a continuous 5 minute sensor beep. And then we just cut right back in on the next segment like nothing happened.
Yeah, like anyway. So yeah, Unknown Luck was really cool this week. Also, I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but Andy with his hair down, that's definitely the better look.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll co-sign that.
Oh damn. I was ready to get fought, but okay,
No, I'll co-sign
cool.
that. I think he looks a little weird with the hair up. Like he's got a little like a I don't know. He looks more unsettling with the hair up. Hair down, he looks pretty good.
Yeah, hair down, he just looks like a guy. Hair up, he kind of looks like he has like a mini pompadour. Which like
Yeah, I could see
it's
that.
not the 80s. It's not the 80s
I
anymore.
mean,
No
he
one
is
likes
undead, so
pompadours.
maybe he like that's the joke is that he just didn't. But then again, his hair always looked that way. Or no, it didn't. Didn't he have his hair down in the Wild West portion?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think he did when he was like a cowboy.
Boy, what you doing with all that hair up? Put it down like the rest of us.
I don't think
I
anyone had anime long hair in the in the Old West, but maybe they did.
look over there. It's old Bobby Kun and his cows. And it's just like flowing red anime hair. It's like, damn. He has real nice hair for someone who lived before shampoo was invented.
It's no shampoo, no conditioner, but he's really got the anime hair going. Really good.
So yeah, what's the verdict on Undead Unluck?
Cute out of 10.
Yeah, lovely out of 10.
Lovely.
Yes.
Chaste out of 10.
Oh, yeah. Thank God for that.
All right, let's
Uh,
see. Next, we've got Red Hood.
which honestly, I think this is the chapter that won me back
Okay,
after
I
last week's
like the
chapter.
chapter. Super cool. Wolfonium is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
I can't. I read that and I was like, nope, nope, nope. I'm closing it. I'm done. I finished the chapter. But the minute she was like, yeah, silver bullets work, but silver's too light, so it doesn't penetrate their hide. So we use a different thing. I was like, oh, okay, do you like mix it with lead? Is it like some kind of alchemy thing? And then she was like, it's our new thing, wolfonium. And I was like, okay, this
In
is
a
fucking
way,
stupid.
I mean, it is kind of stupid because also, why not just take a normal lead bullet and coat it in silver?
Or do anything cooler than that.
Wolfonium. That I feel like it was that the trend like back in the early 2010s where every science fiction and fantasy series needed to have its own made up element.
Even if
What
you're
was
gonna
it
make one
in
up, do you have to call it wolfonium? Like imagine if in My Hero the anti-quirk bullets, if Overhaul was like, yeah, this is it, my new weapon, quirkonium, and it erases your quirks.
no quirkonium? I mean, we make fun of that, but if you get into like the table of the elements and you go into like the very heavy ones, the ones that you have to artificially make, some of them shits are called really whack stuff. Einsteinium and shit like
I
that.
know, but wolfonium, bro, you can't just put together some dumbass name, just fake it. You had to go with wolfonium.
He's just like, Yes, red hudonium. Completely unrelated to anything else. It's a
Brothers
mysterious name.
Grimonium.
Werewolfonium. Oh, we're back at Wolfonium. There you
We
go.
made it back to Wolfonium. Oh my
There you
god, I
go.
really hope we get into other like creatures in this because I think this is called like part one werewolves, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
I
exactly.
really hope every time we get there they have another element for it. Like the dragons come back and she's like, "Shit, we have to go mine dragonium."
Dragonium.
And then there's vampires and they're like, "Quick, grab the stakes made out of vampironium."
Vampirium.
That's just how they beat everything. Is they just have a stupidly named element.
And then one arc they have to like overthrow a government of humans and like quick grab the humonium bullets. And it's just normal
It's
bullets.
just regular bullets. She's got like a knife, and it's just a normal knife, and she's like, "Yeah, it's my humonium."
Oh my god. Like, oh, quick, I have to use my anti-humans wand, and it's just a fucking Glock.
They do have guns in this.
I know. I think have you ever read the Harry Potter books?
Yeah.
Do you? I think it's in the third book when when they're trying to describe like a non-wizard weaponry, and they say, "Oh yeah, they have these weird metal wands that kill you if they point at you." It's just a fucking
I
gun.
love the notion in Harry Potter that this wizarding world is like super secret and powerful, but you could just like off them all with like a Glock, basically.
Hey, look, there's magic may be strong, but few things are stronger than the blicky. Is all I'm saying. But yeah, like apart from the Wolfonium part, though, this chapter was really dope. Like I liked the strategy that went into the fight and how Velu actually like did something this time around.
Yeah, instead
That
of
was
getting
really
hard
neat.
carried by Grim.
Yeah, I mean the series itself is still getting hard carried by Grim.
Yes,
Uh,
11 million% yes. But that's okay, because Grim is really cool.
yes, that's why we like her because
Well,
she's
okay,
cool and
yes,
competent.
yes, but also she does gag humor jokes pretty well too. Like when she pulls the gun out and the wolf just bends it immediately, and she's like, "Oh," and she just pulls another gun out of the briefcase. That shit
Yeah.
was funny.
Or when she pulls out the second gun and it shoots, and she's like, "That wasn't supposed to shoot yet," and just like that deadpan look in her eyes.
Yeah, she's
Also
like,
really
"Oops, I
funny.
wasn't supposed to shoot him."
Yeah. I will say though, I am glad that she's more than just the looks, because she is genuinely enjoyable to see, both because she's capable and, as you said, because she's actually pretty funny. So yeah, now honestly, the only character I really need more of is Velu, because
Yeah,
he's
Velu
very
is
nothing.
definitely super generic. So I mean, it's 4 chapters in. I hate every time I feel like I criticize something too hard that's brand new. Everyone's like, "It's 4 chapters." I'm like, I know that, but I'm working with what I've got, people.
Yeah.
He's just
Also,
very kind of bland.
yeah, and honestly, I would say most good shonen protagonists are fairly endearing early on. Like,
Yeah,
if
I
you
mean,
think
I can't
about,
think of any protagonists in a shonen series that I like that I found to be boring or off-putting very early on. So I mean, I don't know what
so,
y'all want from me.
oh man, we got it. Zenrotto just admitted that he loved early Deku. Let's
I do
go.
like early Deku.
Ah, shit, I thought I got you there.
No, bro,
But yeah,
I like
cool.
early Deku more than confident Deku. I thought he was dope as shit when he was like kind of a little bitch who stepped up to the plate a lot.
I need someone to clip. I really loved it when he was a little bitch. That's a money phrase right there. But okay, cool in that case.
Also,
Um,
apparently, we were like, "Oh no, I hope the whole series doesn't stay in the Hamlet." Apparently not, because it looks like these two people are about to destroy it and kill everybody.
that's true, but also, man, this like opening, because this is technically still the prologue fight. It's taking a minute.
Yeah, it really
Like,
is. I feel like we spent a lot of time on two werewolves for kind of no reason if this was about to happen. I guess just to
yeah,
give Velo confidence or whatever, but god damn.
yeah, because we're chapter what,
4.
4 now?
Yeah.
Yeah. and we're still in the starting town. We've had like what, two fights, right, one after another, which is cool, right? But I kind of would have hoped we've gotten into more of a direction so far, because so far we just have the very vague idea of, oh, he's gonna become a hunter, which like we kind of had that at the end of chapter one already.
Yeah, we had that from the
So
moment he was introduced as the protagonist, right? Like we knew, but they were really pushing it. But I do kind of want to see this giant werewolf and this witch girl just kill everyone.
yeah. Um. Okay, so what do we give it?
Uh, we like it for the plot out of 10.
Unobtainium out of 10.
Rodis and Swagonium out of
Kinonium out of 10.
10.
When Jujutsu Kaisen comes back and our review is just, finally we have distilled pure gasolium.
Peak fiction odium.
Okay, what's next?
All right, so next we got to cycle into the top threes. So I think we'll go ahead and go with Choujin X.
Okay, really good. I
Yes, my
am
favorite
loving
chapter of
this.
it completely so far.
Yeah. Like
Also,
the
very nice to get it so fast.
Mm-hmm.
I really
Yeah,
thought we were going to be
right?
waiting a long time. It was super quick after the last one.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool to watch him work at his own schedule.
Yeah, right. And one thing I like about Shoujin X as well is that if you want to get like sneak peeks of it, literally just jump into his streams. Because sometimes he will just have Photoshop open and be drawing and then realize he's streaming. It's the funniest shit.
That's amazing.
Yeah. But yeah, I really love this chapter. Like, I thought that after Tokyo got the power up that we'd get into like an explanation, but no, we just get this like slow burn almost of him having to deal with the fact that he is now physically deformed and what that means to him. Like it's very interesting to have this approach from this angle because this would in any other series this would just be a power up and then you get your pretty boy back. So yeah, very unexpected, but I really loved it.
I also like the reveal that that Azuma did not actually become one.
Yeah, right.
So whatever they used just didn't work on him. Because I remember back when the first one came out, we just expected that we would find out later what
Yeah,
happened to him.
exactly.
Uh, and then they kind of slipped in the reveal that nothing happened. He's just normal,
Eh,
and he's having like an existential crisis about it.
Well, yeah, because if you remember, the first chapter was always Azuma who was protecting Tokyo, but now Azuma is powerless, and Tokyo has sort of evolved into this next step of himself. So that's and he seems to really feel bad about that. So that's very interesting.
Well, right, because this wouldn't. I'm sure he's currently in the point where like if he had been better, this wouldn't have had to happen.
Hmm.
And now he's got his friend is all fucked up because they had to do that to save him. And not only that, he didn't even get a power up to do anything in the end.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, they're both just like fucked up about it. I wonder if they're gonna alternate the chapters every time between these two and the little girl.
Hmm. Yeah, that might be interesting. Also, I'm just looking over it again. The panel where he's trying to eat and he has to hold his gross beak open. Peak fiction. It's just one of those things where, like, when you give your MC a weird, crazy design, I wouldn't expect a series to actually cover that. But he is like, oh shit, it took me 30 minutes to eat breakfast because of my gross beak.
my my nightmare beak.
Yeah. Like, like it's bendy as well, so it's not like hard beak material.
Right, because he
It's
holds it down with the belt.
Yeah. Oh God, it must be like fleshy or
Yeah, I
something.
assume it's supposed to be like skin, like ugh,
Blah.
gross.
Lovely.
Skin
Lovely.
beak.
Uh, but yeah, really cool. And we get a tease of our next villain, I presume, a weird masked clown man.
Very mafia-esque vibes coming off of this, like Yakuza type deal.
Hmm.
They got the suits and everything, and they're peddling drugs. I assume they're gonna fight.
Yeah, also he speaks in like a posh register. Like, I inquired as to who, you
Hmm.
know?
Also,
So
I
I'm
don't
assuming
like that his mask like fits his hair.
right?
The hair on the mask lines up with the hair on his head.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. It's I'm up. It's like if he's a Choujin, actually, is the mask part of his body? Is it just a mask? Like, what is it?
Well, that's interesting because Tokyo also, his like bird face is technically like sculptured like a mask if you look at
Hmm.
it. So, yeah, interesting, interesting. Because his power seems to be like severing or like taking apart or something like that. So yeah, whenever we get a next chapter for this, I'm really interested to see what we see of this because it's just cool. It's cool to see Sui Ishida back on his game.
Yeah, I'm all about it. Trojan X has been filling the void that Phantom Seer left behind incredibly well. I'm
Hmm.
all about it. I love the what do you call it? The whole atmosphere of Trojan X is so good. Like
Hmm.
this weird, just dark, fucked up world. I really like it.
Yeah, yeah. Like it's Ishida has this way of drawing his environments and characters that it reminds me of Fujimoto in the sense of everything looks sort of grimy and scratchy and itchy, right? Even when
Yeah,
something's really
the
clean, you
world
can
looks dirty. Like the whole
yeah.
world just looks grimy.
God, this actually makes me wonder if how a sort of like a Batman series by him would look.
Ah, that would
You
be cool as
know,
hell.
Gotham in this
That'd
style.
be cool as fuck. I would read the shit out
Yeah.
of that.
Nah, well. Marvel manga don't tend to do super well. I mean, the Spider-Man manga got canned, and the Deadpool manga ended naturally after, I think, 10 chapters. So,
Damn. Isn't that the one All Might was in?
yeah, that's the one where All Might was canonized into the Marvel universe.
God bless.
I mean, honestly, seeing how close my hero is to Marvel is actually really heartwarming. Because I don't know if you remember, but when Infinity War was coming out, Marvel Japan had a cross promotion with My Hero where all the Infinity War posters were replaced with exact copies, but instead of the actual cast, it had My Hero characters in them. And you had like TV ads of the My Hero characters introducing the Avengers and shit like that.
That's
Very
cool.
cool.
That's cool as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, Bakugo somehow ended up introducing who was it? Tony Stark,
I'm about that.
which is which is interesting. And yeah, they're pretty close. Um so yeah, what do we give Choujin X?
Uh, nasty flesh beak out of 10.
Bendy beaks out of 10.
Gross.
Ugh. What's next?
Next up is Dr. Stone. This shit kind of
That one,
slapped.
yeah, like
It kind of
it
slapped really hard. First of all, just on the art front, the panels where the spread where he's doing all the coding on the wall,
uh-huh.
super cool. And then the immediate one afterward where it's the coding for Dragon Quest, and it's just like the fucking super detailed. Like it doesn't even matter to the plot because Dragon Quest is obviously not relevant, but the drawing is so good. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah. Well, this is what happens when a very talented artist references maybe one of the most important video games to a country. Because I mean, Dragon Quest doesn't matter much to us, but to the Japanese, like they go crazy for that. Like that's why it keeps getting referenced in every other series at one point or another. It's hard to even conceptualize here, but yeah, super cool. And also like the spread, as you mentioned, the spread where he's doing the coding, we have like the lines of electricity going onto the walls and pages. So good, so good.
Oh man, dude. Dr. Stone, when it pops off, it really pops off. It's like the all of these giant images of him afterward. Like he's doing the coding page, then you've got like the close up of his face with the light shining off of it, and then you get it again when he's sitting there like holding the pen. It's really
Hmm.
good, man. I love Dr. Stone's art. Also, I like
Yeah,
how Senku was like, "Yeah, we can't possibly make you a computer, bro. It's way too hard." And then he saw him code one time, and he was like, "Yeah, okay, we're doing it."
Yeah,
We're
let's
gonna
do it.
do it.
Let's fucking do it.
We're just
Yeah.
gonna fucking
But
do
I,
it.
but I also like Asai's insistence that he isn't a math genius, where he's like, yeah, sure, I can multiply crazy fast, but it's useless in a world with computers. And then they're like, but this is a world without computers, bro. Like it's cool to have this sort of back and forth. And I like that it actually gets sort of resolved within one chapter. I was worried this was going to be like a whole thing now. But I like that we, went through it at a good pace, a full chapter of just examining how and why this character is going to be super useful. So yes, very cool. I also really like his arm paintings. Like they make him look very distinct.
Oh yeah, the cracks all the way up his arms. I wonder how that works, because it's supposed to be like actual cracks, and does he just like, does it feel like normal skin? I don't know. There's so many questions.
He doesn't have arms, they're just gone.
They're just masses of dark energy.
Yeah, exactly. And therefore he ironically has arms again. Because he just moves the dark energy.
into arm-like shapes.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, they leave like a perfect replica void where his arms should be, but because all space has been erased where they should be, he just has, yeah, these voids now floating at the end of his elbows. That's the
That's
deep
funny.
Dr. Stone lore.
Dr. Stone would have some fucking weird shit like that going on in it. Uh,
Yeah.
Man,
Um,
I really like too. I don't know if it was like intentionally that he's drawn this way, but he's constantly drawn with like white speckling in all of his like super dark outfits, or not outfits, but like the areas in the panel that he occupies that are super black. Like there's some in his hair at sometimes, and like at one point it's his pants are covered in it, and it looks like stars. And there's
mhm,
Senku's going on and on about how he's going to be the one that takes them into space. I thought it was neat. It
mhm.
might be unintentional, I don't know, but I liked it.
Well, either way, I'm sure, as an artist, it's hard to do things unintentionally, right? Because you have to spend hours drawing every bit of it. So I'm sure that there's at least something to that. And yeah, just a solid chapter. Like I'm very hyped to see what they do now with the computing power and how that will advance them towards the moon. Like, if there's one thing that I'm not super hot on right now, Dr. Stone, is I'm kind of at the point where I just want to get to the moon, right? Like these
You're just ready to
side
be
and
there.
intermediate, yeah, like these side and intermediate stories are fun, but I feel like after the big fight in South America and everyone getting stoned and then unstoned and then realizing they're immortal, like after that, I kind of am ready for the big cheese. And
Yeah, I
it's
definitely
a bit
see
of a
where you're coming
shame.
from. It kind of went from like hitting 10 out of 10, like all cylinders with this really big stuff. And we've definitely
Mhm,
backslid a little bit into just like, now we have to go here to get
mhm.
some fucking rocket piece. And then we'll talk to like some villagers and they'll give us pancakes or whatever, and then we'll move on. Um, but I don't know, because part of me is like, that is Dr. Stone, right? Like that's
Hmm.
kind of always been Dr. Stone, is just like the side trips along the way, and the goal just sort of
Hmm.
comes naturally. But at the same time, it's really hard to top that final battle back in South America. And so
Yeah.
it's just like the slower stuff feels even slower than before because of just how good that was.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. But it's all things considered a very small issue of mine. Like I'm still having fun. I can just think of something that would be more interesting that we're only very slowly advancing towards.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I can see that for
it's
sure.
kind of like whatever. But yeah, I really like this new character and I'm interested to see where it goes. I'm gonna give this a math is a scam out of 10.
Mental math is pointless out of 10.
Well, all math is pointless, but that's just me.
Well, yeah. Okay, that's fair.
What's next?
All right. It looks like next up is gonna be what's it called? Fuck. Look back.
Wait, I just realized we didn't talk about Neru.
Oh, we didn't. I didn't even read Neru.
Oh, you didn't?
No,
Oh,
I
well.
forgot Neru existed.
Oh, well, it's a shame because actually this chapter was pretty good.
All right, well, go ahead. You go ahead and just talk about Neru real quick. We'll shove him in right here.
Okay, Neru this week was actually really good. I thought that this is the chapter that kind of sells me on the motivation of the main character and on the main character himself. Because basically what happens is he keeps fighting this guy, and you find out that he has an advantage because his grandpa instilled into him that he always has to walk barefoot because that's like a martial arts training technique. And so he has like instinctively trained a barefoot fighting technique that gives him the edge in the fight. But then he loses, and he's like, "Fuck, man! All my training, and I'm still this weak. That's awesome. Let me train here." And he has like this moment where he's like, "I can't contain this temptation. I must train." And he's like steaming out of his nose and ears. Like it's very endearing. And so now we're seemingly moving into like, oh, an entrance exam and all that. And it's cool. Like the art, while it looks like the 80s, it is popping off. Like it's saying it looks like it's from the 80s doesn't mean it's not good. And yeah, like honestly, now it's really taking up momentum. I'm still confused as to why we needed that very first chapter. But yeah, Neru gets my temptations cannot be settled out of 10 from me.
Yeah, I just my feverish sensation. I just flicked through it real quick while you were
Yeah.
reading it. It did look good. The fight choreography in this is super cool.
Yeah, right?
Like the panel where he copies her sword attack that he saw that one time, super cool.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Also, I just want to point out live on the show, Zenrotto Skims manga confirmed.
You know what? You're not entirely wrong. I really like the panel where fucking Death is talking to him because the spear is right in his
Yeah.
face. It's cool.
Yeah, right. And like the
Cool.
whole thing about like the dialogue right after where it's like, martial arts, we use them for sports and some people use it for violence, but really at the end of the day, it's just a tool that was meant as a tool for survival. And what you do with that is up to your interpretation. I thought, wow, that's kind of cool. Like actually engaging with, a sort of martial arts ideology beyond just cool punches. So I'm interested to see where this goes. Like, it definitely has my attention now after a so-so beginning. So yeah, that's Neru from me.
Okay.
All right.
Neru out of 10.
Definitely read it out of 10.
Okay, so now next up is Look Back. That shit
Heavy.
hurted. Real bad.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it hurts more once you realize that the school attack, the date for that lines up with the date of the Kyoto Animation arson attack.
Uh
Yeah. And today is the 2-year anniversary of that.
mm.
Yeah. So I've already seen people speculate, like, does that mean that Fujimoto was, I don't know, had someone involved there? Because also the two main characters, you know, Fujian and Fujimoto, it's definitely a very personal story. But yeah, that shit was painful. Like Jesus, I'd forgotten how much I missed Fujimoto heartbreak.
Yeah, this is like a special brand of like pain.
Yeah. Also, I had missed just him being in Jump, like his art style and his outlook on life. It's so depressing, but so cool in a way. Like Chainsaw Man Part 2 really cannot come fast enough. I mean,
I'm
as
dying
fast
for it.
as yeah,
Dying
exactly.
for it.
Yeah. But yeah, like this was a very sweet and tragic story of just two girls drawing manga. Like it's hard to even like implement it into our haha funny cartoons show
Yeah,
because
I
it
can't
genuinely was
like
pretty heavy.
it's super heavy and it's super good. I can't like make jokes about it. The only part of it where I was like, huh, aw, it was at the end when she's crying over her book and it's clearly Sharkman is just Denji.
Yeah, exactly. Um, and it's just again, it's so weird reading this and so hard reading this, knowing that, this is probably some sort of personal opening up in a way.
Like an
Like,
emotional outlet, yeah.
yeah, exactly. And it really kind of makes you feel for the situation of the industry, of the people in Japan. Like, yeah, like I can't make jokes about this. It's genuinely pretty heavy stuff.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
there's no humor to be found here.
yeah, but that spread where the main character, after she gets told that her art is good, and she's just dancing in the rain.
Yes, well, like right
Uh,
after, because the whole beginning is like everyone talks about how great she is, and then she ends up getting outpaced by this girl that doesn't come to school, and everyone starts talking about her instead, and it like makes her quit basically. And
mhm.
then she goes and finds out that the person that kind of killed her confidence idolized her, and she had that like slow, because it was like a page first where she's
Mhm.
walking home in the rain, and it starts to pick up, and she's like picking up her pace a little bit and like starts skipping, and then you just get this full spread of her like confidently, excitedly dancing in the rain. It's so good.
Yeah, like it's just Fujimoto has this way of depicting emotions that is, I want to say raw, but we've really tainted that word.
Yeah, we've that,
Um,
that word is not usable anymore. It's
yeah,
very
pure and like,
unfiltered. Yeah.
yeah, like it's just, it's not sugar coated. It's just how people feel at any given time, elevated through the medium of manga, but not like melodramatized in a way.
Yeah,
Like
it doesn't feel insincere in any way.
yeah, and he also has this way of not lingering on emotions. Like you get a spread, her dancing, that's it, moving on. Sad stuff happens. You get a page of, her looking incredibly shocked, and you get the slow sequence of like the realization, but that's it. After that, you get a whole new like little story thread. Like he has this way of just moving on with emotions that is tragic in of itself because it's like, wow, okay, I as a reader just have to move on as well. And it's a really clever way of using the medium of manga to sort of emulate how it really is to live through things that hurt you, to just be like, okay, the next morning always comes and you just have to move on, whether it was positive or negative. And yeah, there is no joke for that. There's no lunchbox quote for that. That's just really good stuff.
Sorry, I'm flicking through it again and getting sad again.
Okay.
Oh man, the little thing where she writes like this alternate universe where she never got back into manga and she stuck with martial arts and ended up rescuing her is the saddest shit.
Yeah.
Oh my
Like,
god.
it's it's tragic. So yeah, it gets a Fujimoto brand of pain out of 10 from me.
If you have not read it, I usually don't go out of my way to be like, this is a must. You gotta, other than Jujutsu Kaisen, of course. But I don't care if you don't like Fujimoto or you don't like Chainsaw Man or anything like that. You should read this. It's 142 pages. It's not that long for a really big one shot. Read it. It's really good.
Mm.
It's really good,
Yeah.
and you'll feel some feelings for sure.
Yeah, and if the page number scares you, it's basically like reading 7 regular chapters. You can do
Yeah.
it.
Also, there's a lot of big spreads, a lot of textless pages. It's not that hard to read.
Yeah, exactly. All right. What do we have left?
Now we just have the meme itself, My Hero Academia.
My Meme Academia.
My Mimi Academia.
Well, you apparently have a whole bit prepared, so go ahead.
Well, it's too late now. You ruined it. I already put the timestamp in. No, but maybe the best, or maybe not the best, but maybe my favorite chapter of the entire series. This is a kind of thing that a series works its whole life to be able to do well. To
Hmm.
have a chapter like this where it's like, this is the kind of chapter where the OP starts playing, where you just
Yeah,
have
right?
everyone. The fucking tape guy and the tail guy do things in it. It's like, this is the perfect, like, I really thought it was going to be dumb because, you've already got people on Twitter whining and they're like, yeah, Deku should be way too strong. Like, fuck you, shut up. The action, just each individual moment where these characters who really are nothing, right? Like the tail guy. I'm sure he has a name. I couldn't tell you what it is.
Ojiro.
I'm upset that you can tell me what it is.
I know these idiots by heart. There's
Ah,
a reason I cannot
God.
memorize multiplication
And I
tables.
think it's funny in the Tailman's portion that he was like, "Hey, remember the sports festival? Me too, because it's the last time I've been on page." But it was still like a super heartwarming moment, even when like, because you see each person, and a lot of big complaints too was like, why is all of 1A here? Deku's not that close with them all, and they point that out in this, that like, yeah, it's not like every single person here is Uraraka and Bakugo and Ida, right? But like,
Mhm.
they still have these little moments with him that meant a lot to them. Like Jiro was literally like, you helped me organize that performance, and I was really stressed about it, and you took a lot of that stress off my shoulders, and that meant a lot to me. Or Kaminari, who's just like, you fucking reek, dog.
Yeah. That's the best panel.
That's easily the best panel. You need a fucking bath, dog. You stink. It's like, man, it was perfect. Like I'm telling you, this is the shit that a series will work its whole life to do and will easily fuck up. And this
Mhm.
shit did not fuck up at all. 10 out of 10. Beautiful. Perfect.
Yeah, like I think to me, what really makes this special is that because you mentioned it, like people like Ojiro, tail guy, and people like Koda, the guy who can talk to animals, they don't do much in the story and are very much extras. And I feel like throughout the lifetime of My Hero, that has always been one thing people circle back to criticizing. And I think this chapter is like the thesis statement on why I think that isn't a bad thing, because I don't want to spend chapters upon chapters exploring 20 characters when they're not that relevant. But this is how you make 20 characters relevant to the characters that are relevant. Like, we know very little about Tail Guy, but now we know that to him, Deku, at that point, a new classmate, getting upset on his behalf was a big deal to him. We see that Sero really enjoyed, Tip Guy, that he really enjoyed training Black Whip with Deku. We see that, Jiro genuinely appreciated how he helped her. Like all these little connections that are formed without grand character moments. It's so good because it isn't. What do we say? Like it isn't made into a big deal, but it existing is enough for these characters to set out and try and help this person that has been in their life for a whole year now. Someone they do care about. It's not like, oh, I'll give my life for you. You are the most important thing I have, but more in the sense like, hey, we spend time together and life is weird when you're not around. So hey, let's try and fix this.
Right.
It's a
And to
very
me,
sincere
that's
emotion.
that's so much more realistic. Like that's what human connection is like, right? Because a lot of the discourse on this, because for some reason, I am just flooded with My Hero Academia discourse at all times in my life. I cannot escape it. Um,
We all are.
yeah, there's always the talk about like who's gonna be the one to snap him out of it. Is it gonna be Uraraka telling him that she loves him? Is it gonna be him and Bakugo having a heart to heart? And it's like, no, it's gonna be real people sharing their actual like emotions with him. Like not every human being that you meet is a melodramatic anime reveal, right? Like they're not.
Hmm.
You don't need. Oh, the most important woman in my life is gonna tell me that she loves me and it's gonna set me back on the right path. No, it's just these little moments of like, hey, you matter to us, and we want you to know that. And if that means that we have to stop you from doing something that's going to hurt you, we will do it.
Hmm. Yeah. And like just in general, the tone that this chapter has is so great because last week we were talking about how we don't want Deku to just throw hands. And this chapter like very much does not have that. It's like Deku running away and him being like, "Yeah, these people care for me. They care for me so much. My quirk that is designed to sense danger is not going off because they're not a danger to me. They're trying to help me." Like it's just a cool way of tying all this together. And I don't know what's gonna happen next chapter, obviously. Um, but if this is the end of Ranas and Swag Deku, I'm fine with it. This is a
I
brilliant
assume there
way.
will be at least one more chapter of it because Uraraka did not get any page time, and neither did Ida,
Yes.
really.
Honestly, none of the big boys got any page
Right.
time. Like,
Bakugo got his little thing at the beginning, and Todoroki got the final pillar. I
Well,
assume that they're gonna get a little bit more.
yeah. Also, Kirishima didn't get anything, and I mean, he is a pretty big character. And Aoyama, who Deku specifically mentions as a friend multiple times throughout the past. So I'm assuming we still have a little bit left. Also, the chapter ending with Froppy is so funny because My Hero does this thing, both the manga and especially the anime, where they pretend she's a main character when she very much isn't.
No, she does jack nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. But like the thing is, right? Like the anime is even worse at this because the anime has like a total of 5 filler episodes, and I believe 4 of them include Froppy. Like they're pushing her so hard.
Gotta get
One
that
of them is
frog
even
girl money.
you know, gotta get the frog. But yeah, like just cool stuff, and I'm really glad that we can get chapters like this. And I think again, it's a consequence of the fact that there's been so much effort put into making Class A this sort of almost not a group of characters, but like an environment, right? An environment that Deku has influenced that now is trying to influence him back. It's just a cool way of bouncing these things back and forth. Very nice. And
Yeah,
also, of course,
it was really good and like it felt so genuine, and I think this could have flopped really easily, right? If he had gone melodramatic with it, like he was running away and Uraraka floated in and hugged him like she did when he got Black Whip, and she was like, "I love you," and he's like, "Oh," and then he passed out. Like, there's a million ways that all of this could have flopped, and every single way someone has tweeted that should have been the right way to do it. So thank God that Horikoshi is writing this series. But
I can't believe I hear you say that of all people.
I know he's a fucking fraud, but he did really good this time. No, I like Horikoshi. He's fine. Um, this is something that, like I said, when something works, it's like a long time to have this like special chapter where everyone is there and everyone's participating and doing something. It's easy to fuck it up,
Hmm.
and this was absolutely perfect all the way through. Like,
Hmm.
oh my god, 10 out of 10. Beautiful, beautiful chapter. Beautiful.
Yeah, it was very delicate in a way, right? Like it didn't make any grand sweeping statements, just a bunch of people like reminding their friend how he has helped them and why they feel the need to help him back. Nothing big, like Kaminari actually, even though he has the funniest line in the chapter, his thing is also really cool. He's like, "Hey, we have nothing in common, but yeah, we're classmates, right? Like you do kind of matter to me, and I'd feel shitty if I didn't do anything about it." And it's so realistic. It's so convincing. And also like you have Tokoyami, who's like, yeah, before you, I only thought of my power as like something to attack people with. But now I know it is also an ultimate defense. And it's a small thing, but it has really influenced me, and that's really cool of you. Like, just cool stuff. And also, the chapter starts with a fourth wall break, which are always so funny in My Hero.
Yeah, when he says that you're drawn differently from us now.
Yeah, because it doesn't happen a lot, but whenever it happens, it's so funny. Like in the culture festival when they're trying to decide who plays the guitar, and they rule out Mineta because his character design doesn't allow him to be tall enough.
That's pretty good. I think
Yeah,
Bakugo is a good character to do that with too.
yeah, like he's yelly and over the top. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's really cool. So yeah, I'm honestly just ready for the next chapter, which unfortunately we'll have to wait an extra week for. Um, but yeah, this is sincerity out of 10 from me.
absolutely. And I want to point out one more thing about it that I thought was important is that it shows how like that they're capable, right? Because I think a lot of
Mhm.
people, especially the worry coming into it, was like, well, Deku should just absolutely shit paste all of them. But they
Mhm.
have like plans and backup plans and all the stuff that they had preset to like funnel him in the right direction to fall into like, oh, did he get out of trap one? He did. All right, we got trap two ready. Up there's
Mhm.
Todoroki with the ice pillar. If he gets that far, like it shows that they're capable and that they can actually help him, and it's not just like Goku and Yamcha, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, true. Like the one thing I think could lead to Deku getting away is the fact that they seemingly don't know about Fajin. Because they know about Danger Sense and they know about Smokescreen. but they don't know about the thirds, if I remember correctly.
I don't think they mentioned it.
Yeah, because they say, because Bakugo says, we know that you've unlocked the fourth and the sixth.
Hmm.
Um, so I'm guessing that, I mean, if this is set up, then it's set up to him using Fajin and either escaping or accidentally hurting somebody. Whichever floats the boat.
Yeah, I don't think he will escape. I think he either will give up or will accidentally injure somebody and then give up. One of the two. Um,
Hmm.
I don't think he gets away and we go back to more chapters of Batman Deku floundering around, getting his ass kicked because he's just a meat sack full of shattered bone at this point.
Yeah, that's also the thing, of course. Like at some point, this arc has to end just because it'll become a little bit difficult to believe that he's still going after not bathing for like 5 months
Right. I
or
mean, he's
however
he's
long it's been.
covered in wounds. He's got like shattered bones that he's using Black Whip to brace and everything. Like he's gonna fall apart at some point. It's got to come to an end sooner or later.
Hmm. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's it from my part.
Yeah, I think I'm good. It was a great chapter. Good stuff. I like.
Hmm. And with that, I think we're done, right?
Yeah, I think so. Sad news about, of course, the chapter off next week. But then Jujutsu Kaisen is back, so
Yeah,
really it's
exactly.
okay. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
so awful that episode, man.
Oh, dude, we're
Every
not going
series
to
we
talk
talk
about
about, I'm
anything
just gonna be like,
else.
hey, this shit was not Jujutsu Kaisen out of 10. Moving on. It's gonna be a 30-minute episode, and 5 minutes are gonna be spent me saying everything else sucks ass, and then the rest of it's gonna be talking about Jujutsu Kaisen.
But how bitter will it be when the new Jujutsu Kaisen chapter is a gag chapter?
Okay, I quit the show. I don't want it anymore.
Okay, Akutami comes back and he's like, "Yeah, so Jujutsu Kaisen is a completely different story now." And he just starts from scratch, but it's like chapter 150.
It's chapter 150, and it starts with a chapter about a teacher and how much she likes manga.
Oh God. Akutami just starts publishing Witch Watch. There's just every chapter releases twice now. He's like, "Yeah, I just really like this manga, so I gave my slot to them."
I just, except instead of like being the same chapter twice, it's the first chapter of Witch Watch over again.
Oh. But anyway, in that case, I think that's us signing off, right?
I believe it is. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and we will probably not next week, but we'll see you the week after.
Yeah, see you around. Bye.